Hello, Internet people. Stephen here, just with a quick follow-on video from my first one to let you know what I'm going to be doing on this channel that I failed to mention in my first video. So very quickly, I'm going to be doing two types of videos here. The first one will be writing advice. So this will be based upon my experience with traditional publishing. I can't talk about self-publishing. I can't talk about anything like that because I don't have any experience of that. So everything I'm going to talk about will be traditional publishing method, whether it's getting an agent, getting a publisher, writing a book with in mind of the market and this sort of stuff. This is what I'm going to be focusing on in the advice video. So if you have any questions related to traditional publishing or any of that sort of stuff, post a comment and ask your questions, and I'll try and do some Q&A videos later on if I get enough questions from people. That's the first type of video. The second type of video I'm going to be doing is late night talks. These are head-to-head interviews between me and other traditionally published authors that I know or I've talked to on social media. So we're going to talk late at night over a drink and get into the weeds and really talk about whatever we fancy and just discuss things and also answer questions that we've received from our fans and viewers and so on. So that's the plan for this channel. So this time I'm going to do a quick video on the trap, which is the title of this video. So what is the trap? The worst thing any writer can do, whether they're self-published or traditional publishing, is if you're a writer, the worst trap that you can ever get in, and I see it happening over and over again, is to start writing a book and never finish it. Sounds really obvious, but every time I do a talk, I've done conventions, I've done panels, and people say, what is your one go-to piece of advice? Mine is finish the book. Here's the problem I hear from a lot of people when we get to talk about it in more detail. They start writing a book and at the beginning they're very excited, it's very interesting, they're full of enthusiasm and lots of ideas, and they start moving forward with the book. They get 10, 20,000 words into the book and then they begin to lose a bit of steam. They begin to lose some of their passion and they slow down and they never actually finish the story. Another thing I hear, well, I've been researching the book and I've spent a lot of time doing that and world building. And when I say how much time, it can vary from a few months to more recently. Someone told me they had been researching their book for 3 years and they were about ready to start writing it. Here's the thing. Most of what you've done, most of your research will not end up on the page. You can have huge world Bibles. I've got a lot of notes, a lot of information written down. Most of that will not end up on the page. And even if it did, when it gets edited, it will be trimmed out because people don't want 20 pages on the way the coins work in your fantasy world or wherever it might be. They just don't. One or two, yes, might, but the majority don't. They want an interesting story that feels real, but they don't want to be so submerged in the story and having to wade through all this detail that it just slows down and there's no pace at all. So that's one trap I hear from people. Research. They're researching the book or they're doing world building, and that's therefore writing the book. No, it isn't. Writing the book is writing the book. The other trap I hear is that people are saying, well, I want to get each chapter perfect. I want to keep revising it and revising it until I know that it's perfect, and then I'll finish the book. That's the other trap. Some people spend forever revising the first 5, 6, 7 chapters, and they never move forward because they want to get it perfect, and they're sure that once the start is perfect, the rest will fall in place. Here's the thing. Whether you're self-published or traditionally published, your book, from where you start with the first draft, will be nothing like what ends up on the shelf. There will be some difference. I'm not going to say it'll change dramatically, but there will be some differences because a normal novel going through a traditional publisher will go through a number of different stages. It's just part of the process. Initially, I worked on my book with my agent and we revised it for a year. That was her giving me notes and I worked on it, and then I sent it back and she gave me some more notes and I worked on it again. And after a year of revising it, she felt it was then ready to go out to the publishers. I was then picked up by a publisher, Orbit Books. I then spent another year working on the book with my editor, with a copy editor, with a proofreader. So it went through so many revisions that sometimes when I got to the end, I'd have to check the book on the shelf to say, was this in the final draft or did we change that detail? Your book will never be perfect. People constantly pick up books and go, there's a typo in this, or there's an inconsistency here. We try our best, things slip through the net. Everybody's human. After you've read the same bit of text 20, 30 times, you kind of go word blind. So you really need to get over that idea of, I'm going to make it perfect. Don't make it perfect. It'll never be perfect. Do the best you can, revise the book, get someone else to read it, give them notes from them, revise the book, put the book away for a while so that you sort of forget about it, come back in a month or a few weeks and look at it with fresh eyes, and you'll spot something different. There are lots of different ways you can do it. Some people print them out onto a piece of paper and read the book and do that way. Some people change the font of the whole book so that when they read it, it looks slightly different and it's a bit more fresh. That's another trick you can use. Finish a draft, because when you get to the end of the book, you'll have learned so much during the process. And also, at the end of that first draft, you'll look back over everything that you've done, and you'll probably have a better idea of what the story's about. I'm going to get more into this kind of thing in other videos, but I wanted to keep this one short. So I've written an ebook as well. It's all about good and bad advice that you should avoid about writing and traditionally publishing. There's a link down below in the notes, so check that out. It's an ebook. It's on Amazon, whichever country you're available, so you can read it there. And it expands on a lot of what I'm going to talk about here and in some of the other videos. So that's it for now. I'll be back soon, and thanks for watching.